Anyway, so here we are, the original. This seems to be the kind of backup. I'm gonna just toss that away. Everything is named, which is great. First thing I need to do is grab the town and the generative fill ground, and then grab those two together holding shift. I'm gonna right click over here, then convert to smart object. It just packages it up real nicely. That way, if I add any adjustment layers, it will affect the ground and the town. I'm gonna name this old town and ground, and then I'm gonna go inside of it, double clicking. Here we are, and first thing I should do is work on this. So what I did was, initially I went into here, and then into here I'm gonna go hold control. So I'm gonna hold control. So I stopped the video for a bit. Instead of doing the whole holding control and making a intricate little selection set just for this mountain, because the whole goal is to make the mountain less washed out and bright compared to the town. So instead of trying to make a selection out of it, I think what I'm going to try is down here, and I'm going to apply a probably, let's start with levels, and it will initially darken everything. Because I just want this to be fixed. But you'll notice that everything else gets ultra saturated and dark and just nasty. So I'm just keeping that in mind. Yeah, I think I like this for now. And then since it has a layer mask, press B as in Bob, make the brush bigger using the left or right bracket to resize it. Go in here, make sure the hardness is at 0. Opacity, flow, keep that 100. Make sure it's a black color. And what I'm gonna do is just, let me see, and make it a bigger brush, and just brighten this. You can see over here changing. So I'm just gonna carefully go up to the very edge, zoom in, make the brush smaller, and just to do this. I think I'd rather do this than trying to nitpick and make selections using the wand tool. It's probably more confusing. So I'm just gonna do this up to here only, and then here. So you can see everything there. And everything there. This, yeah. I mean, it's not necessary to make everything, the ceiling and everything and all, but just for the sake of so you can see. Then in here, there. Then make the brush smaller, brighten this up. But I have to be careful about the white spot happening there. Anyway, just this and this. Anything that's too dark, it's going to draw attention. So just this whole process, like that, that. But now this stuff is getting too bright, but let's see what I can do about that. So off, on, off, on, off. See right here. Off, on, off, on, off, on. Too dark. Brighten that up. Brighten that up. Over here too. Make it bigger. Just make it brighter. Off, on, off, on. Off, on. Tap, 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 tap. Off, on, there. Alright, and then here, obviously, make that brighter. And then here, tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap. Oof, no. No. Here, off, on, yeah, way too. Brighten that up. Brighten that up. Nope, not that. Okay, so this here as well. What over here? Yep, brighten that up. Alright, so brighten this up. This part here, this little haze, and press X just to tidy this up, because these things will come back around later and be noticeable. The little haze, so it's that white, off, on, off, on, off, on. There. Okay, so off, on, off, on. Oops, no. X, make it brighter. Tap, tap, just to make the foliage a little bit brighter instead of burnt. Just tap a little bit here. Tap, tap, tap. Here, make it white. No, no, no. White color? No, yeah, white color to take away. Don't want any bright white splotches. Okay, like even here, off, on, press X for black color, make it a little bit brighter. Anything that might look too dark. Alright, yeah, this one here too. That should be it. Yikes. Off, on. Change it to white. Make it dark over here. Don't want to draw any attention. There you go. Alright, good. I think. Off, on, off, on. Okay, hopefully that'll help. So that's the levels. Off, on, and there. White color, bring it back. Yeah. this one here. Let me just go back into here. Change it, instead of pure white, maybe gray. Get midway in between. Good trade-off. Yeah, that'll do. And then off, on, off, on. You know, a little bit more wider. Yikes, nope. Blacker. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, I don't think I'll draw any bad attention. Alright, so that was that. It may seem like not a big deal, but what's for sure is that these exercises and whatnot, they train the human eye to look for little nuances that are important in the bigger picture to help to blend things in. So that's what I realized as well, that you know, even though it may look tedious, but it really truly does train the eye to look for these subtle nuances that give away the visual trickery. Anyway, so that's the levels. Since I did that, now what I can do is use this as a selection mask. So I hold Control and I'm gonna click in here. That way now I have a special selection. I don't want this. I'm gonna press M for marquee. I pressed M for that tool. I'm just gonna click out here for a bit so I can get rid of the marching ants. Press B as in Bob, and then make sure I'm in the mask, and then this should be black. Get rid of that marching ants that was left behind. Okay, good. Now we'll go back, hold Control, click in here. Now I have everything that I want. Yep, all of this. Alright, so that's my mask. When I held Control, I clicked in there. So since with that selection, I'm gonna go in here. Even though I have nothing selected, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna do one more round. Maybe exposure, and then I'll mess with this because I want this top part to tone down like that. But this is too dark now, like dark, burnt. So I'm gonna select the exposure mask, press B as in Bob, and I'm gonna paint away this so it's not dark. So I'm gonna choose probably white, opposite. Okay, maybe not that, maybe it's black. Yeah. So make it like black, because I only want this to be darker. So this levels was for the whole area. This is just for this top mountain range only. See, it's still too bright. And then so that's why. Then here, black color. We'll brighten this up. Tap. Make the brush smaller. Zoom in. Tap. Hopefully this won't make things worse. Off, on, off, on, off, on. Hey, what is this? Off. I don't like this. Make the brush bigger. Off, on, off, on. testing out the levels, off, on, off, on, then the exposure, on. This here, maybe make the brush smaller using the left or right bracket. Just tap a bit, not too much more work. Alright, good. So that was how I did that. Control S to save the smart object container with these adjustments, and then I can go back out and I'm looking at it. Still could be a little bit more. If I close it, yeah, but this helped, but this one still yet. Double click, go back into it, and then maybe the exposure, maybe I'll mess with the gamma. Yeah, so I move the gamma. Don't bother with the offset. Control S, save it. There you go. Zoom out a bit. Alright, so that looks like it could work. I'll leave it like that for now. Next thing is regarding the cutouts for the old town. They'll go back into it and then zoom in. And what I'll do is basically a trick is where actually let me go back out. So for the old town, I'm gonna apply a layer mask, and then the black color, press B as in Bob for a brush tool, zoom in. Instead of painfully going in and manually doing this, right, which still works, I can do a little trick where I first need to zoom in and make sure I'm on the layer mask, make sure that this is 0, and then here I can just click once with the brush, like right around here. Then I'm gonna come over here, but before I click, I'm just gonna hold shift, because if I hold shift and then click over here, it's gonna make a straight line. So I hold shift and click, so it did that. And then I'm gonna, let me see, undo, redo. Then here I'm gonna just make the brush a little bit smaller, and then click, and then hold shift, and then click, and then hold, still holding shift, click again, then hold, still holding shift, click up, and then click. Oof, no, maybe just tap over there a bit. Over here, I'll hold shift, I'll click once and then hold shift. While holding shift, click again, making a straight line, click once, hold shift, and still holding shift, click. Same thing, click, hold shift, and then click, and then click, and then hold shift, click, click, hold shift, click, click, hold shift, and click, click, hold shift and click, still holding shift and click again, and then just paint this a bit. This part probably need to go back in, make the brush smaller, because this is visually getting to me. So this is ultra important. It kind of sucks that it's tedious, but click and holding shift, click and holding shift, click and then holding shift,